Wake up, rise up, Mell, be on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't just talk, she sparked the flame from 7 to 8. She runs the game, Jamaica to New Orleans and all the world. The vibe don't sleep. Mell B drop gems while the world counts sheep. No fluff, no cap, just facts and fire. Affirmation flow that lifts you higher. Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power.
Grand Rising, all my kings and queens. It's your girl Mell B, live on Lux Radio Network. It's February 3rd, so we are off to a good start on the week. We're honoring the legends who paved the way and the rising stars taking the torch. From the pages of the bell hooks to the sounds of the next generation, we are celebrating the brilliance of Black art all morning. Whether you're headed to the office or just getting the kids up for school, keep that head held high. It's Black History Month. All right, on to our affirmation of the day, and I read, "My voice has power and my stories matter. I will speak my truth with confidence and lead with grace. I do not need to shrink to fit into spaces. I am meant to occupy them fully." All right, on to our word of the day, which is felicity, meaning the quality or state of being happy, especially great happiness. So in a sentence, you would say, you could see the pure felicity on the faces of the children as they played with puppies on National Golden Retriever Day. And our urban slang word or phrase of the day is crash out. A lot of us know what this means, but technically it means to lose one's cool completely, to have a reckless emotional outburst or physical meltdown over something relatively small. I'm not going to say it's always relatively small. People crash out for things that aren't small. So its origin was emerging from Southern urban slang, especially in Atlanta and Memphis. It describes someone who has hit a wall or no longer cares about the consequences of their actions. Yeah, because somebody done took you there. So in a sentence, it says, "I saw a lady crash out in the Starbucks line this morning just because they ran out of oat milk." Now, I don't know about that one, crashing out. It's not that serious. Anywho, onto our news headlines around the globe. Starting in the U.S. national news. First up, we have the lizard in a blizzard rescue. National news is buzzing over frozen reptile rescued from a Rhode Island snowbank. Dubbed the lizard in a blizzard, the survival's story has sparked a lighthearted national debate on animal resilience during this week's extreme winter storms. Next up, we have Clinton testimony agreement. Former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have officially agreed to testify in the House investigation into the Jeffrey Epstein files, narrowly avoiding a contempt of Congress vote. Or are they trying not to go to jail? All right, on to NASA lunar fuel leak. NASA reported multiple fuel leaks during a practice countdown of the SLS rocket for the Artemis 2 mission. While engineers are working on the quick disconnect seals, the setback has sparked debate about whether the 2026 launch window is still realistic. All right, on to our news city by city. Starting with New York. A major fact-focused report has debunked viral images of the New York City mayor with Jeffrey Epstein as AI generated, leading to a citywide conversation about the dangers of deep fakes in local politics. New York's community event today is celebrating Black Voices book tasting. Harry Belafonte, 115th Street Library, at 4:30 p.m. today. a curated exploration of Black fiction and graphic novels for young adults. LA. The Dine LA Restaurant Week continues to dominate local headlines as a critical economic driver for the city's hospitality sector amid rising commercial rents. Los Angeles community event today is the Racial Wealth Gap discussion. Skylight Books at 7 p.m. Author Mahar Barhadaran discusses the economic history of inequality with Aaron Thomas. Chicago. The Chicago Menopause Collective has launched a citywide initiative to provide better hormonal health resources and education in public community centers. Their community event there today is Menopause Support and Education Evening at the Community House Winnetka at 4:30 p.m. An empowering gathering focused on women's health and community support. Atlanta. Atlanta is seeing a surge in olfactory composition boutiques as the city moves to position itself as a hub for luxury artisanal manufacturing. Atlanta's event of the day is Luxury Perfume Making Experience at the Balaclem Home at 2 p.m. A hands-on workshop teaching the aesthetics of fragrance and perfume creation. Houston. A new Partner with Us initiative is launching to foster stronger partnerships between the city's small business owners and the real estate sector. Houston's community event of the day is Small Business and Real Estate Mixer. Christian's Tailgate Bar and Grill at 7 p.m. A networking event for entrepreneurs looking to scale in real estate. Washington, D.C. The Supreme Court is preparing for a landmark week of oral arguments regarding environmental rules as the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again movement reshapes health and ecological policy. Washington, D.C.'s community event today is the Folger Shakespeare Library Public Tour, a rare look at the newly restored historic building and its latest exhibits on Capitol Hill. Miami. The Miami-Dade Collective has released new data showing a record-breaking year for local startup growth, specifically in the tech and founder space. Miami's community event today is Thrive Together Tuesday, at Glassbox Ironside at 7:30 a.m., an early morning network session for Miami entrepreneurs to connect and share resources. Tampa. Buddy Brew Coffee has announced a massive 10-store expansion into Sprouts Farmers Markets, highlighting a major win for the local Tampa brand's national footprint. Tampa's community event is the SRQ Daily Dining and Food Edition, a citywide spotlight on new dining partnerships and the mindful beverage trend, which is THC mocktails and quality coffee. I guess that would be one stop in Florida. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. The City Council and Community Redevelopment Agency, or the CRA, are holding a joint session today to finalize the revitalization plans for the historic Riverfront District. Newport Richey's community event today is Walk and Talk Club, Extra Mile, Theo's Harvest, a community social walk designed to foster neighborly connections while getting active. Milwaukee. Good morning, family. The South Milwaukee Common Council is holding a high priority meeting today regarding new legislation and permits for urban development. Milwaukee's community event today is the South Milwaukee Common Council meeting, Common Council chambers at 7 p.m. tonight, a public forum where residents can weigh in on local legislation and city permits. Vancouver. Vancouver is hosting a series of sustainability summits this week, focusing on how the city can maintain its green status while managing rapid population growth. Vancouver's community event today is Dr. Sun Yat-sen Garden Lunar Festival, the continued celebration of the Lunar New Year with traditional lanterns and cultural education. Toronto. The Toronto Public Library's new AI search tool is receiving national praise for making historical archives more accessible to students and researchers. Toronto's community event of the day is Design TO Festival at various locations. a series of community-led workshops on the future of sustainable urban living in Toronto. Bless up Jamaica, Kingston. The Island Music Conference is in full swing at the Carlyle Auditorium, focusing on the business of reggae and the global export of culture. Kingston's community event, of course, is Reggae Month, tribute to the legends, a daily series of cultural programs and live band nights celebrating Jamaica's musical heritage. Montego Bay. Tourism officials are highlighting the success of the Sunset Beach Initiative, which promotes Montego Bay as the premier romantic winter destination for solo and couple travelers. Montego Bay's community event is the International Conference on Education. Closing sessions at the Montego Bay Convention Center focuses on the 21st century educational tools. Ocho Rios. St. Anne's Bay is being lauded for its Heritage Market initiative, which connects local farmers directly with the hospitality sector to reduce food import costs. Ocho Rios community event is the Heritage Market Day, a local market celebration featuring traditional Jamaican crafts and agriculture. Negrill's West End pub crawl, The Love Bus, has officially been recognized as a top-tier cultural experience for integrating local businesses into the tourism circuit. Negrill's community event today is Drifters Daytime Live Music at Drifters Bar at 2 p.m., a community gathering spot celebrating roots and culture. Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands Art Festival 2026 has officially become the largest performing arts event of its kind in the Caribbean, drawing global performers to Georgetown. Cayman Islands community event today is the Cayman Arts Festival opening week. Preparation events across Georgetown for Thursday's Big Jazz and Trance Big Band concert. Nassau, Bahamas. The Experience Nassau Like a Local campaign is reporting high engagement, shifting tourists away from cruise ports and toward local beaches and artisans. Community event there today is the Cabbage Beach Community Lounge, a structured day for locals and visitors to gather for beachside networking and relaxation. Nigeria. Public holiday alert. Governor Dapo Abiodun has declared today, February 3rd, a public holiday to commemorate the 50th anniversary or Golden Jubilee of the creation of Ogun State. The community event today is the Ogun 50th celebration. Massive public festivals and commemorative events across the state to celebrate the milestone anniversary. Ghana. The Quantum Horizons Research Hub in Accra has begun its first international collaborative project, marking a new era for Ghana's tech industry. Ghana's community event today is the World NTD Day Awareness Fair, a community health rally in Ho, focusing on the extradition of neglected tropical diseases. The Netherlands. Kickstart Europe 2026 has officially opened in Amsterdam. It is one of the largest conferences for the data center, cloud, and connectivity industries. Netherlands community event today, of course, once again, is the Kickstart Europe Conference, a massive gathering of tech leaders discussing a digital infrastructure of the future. Vietnam. The Vietnamese government has launched a new green transition initiative, providing subsidies for businesses that shift to 100% renewable energy by 2030. Vietnam's community event today is Hanoi Tech Reunion Market, a cultural trade market helping families prepare for the final days of the Lunar New Year celebrations. And France. Paris has unveiled its major events of February guide, prioritizing large-scale cultural expeditions and official start of the spring art season. France's community event today is Valentine's Outings for Two, specialized romantic tours of the city's museums and historic landmarks begin today as the city ramps up for Valentine's Day. All right, on to our weather. Good morning, brother-in-law. Starting with New York. Partly sunny today with a high of 32 and a low of 9. Los Angeles, sunny today with a high of 80 and a low of 51. Chicago, light snow today with a high of 27 and a low of 21. Atlanta, cloudy today with a high of 59 and a low of 32. Houston, light rain today with a high of 71 and a low of 50. Washington, D.C., sunny today with a high of 36 and a low of 22. Miami, cloudy today with a high of 64 and a low of 45. Tampa, sunny today with a high of 63 and a low of 35. Newport Richey, sunny today with a high of 57 and a low of 37. Milwaukee, partly sunny today with a high of 24 and a low of 12. Vancouver, light rain today with a high of 48 and a low of 45. Toronto, mostly cloudy today with a high of 27 and a low of 9. Kingston, mostly cloudy today with a high of 74 and a low of 62. Montego Bay, cloudy today with a high of 74 and a low of 70. Ocho Rios, cloudy today with a high of 71 and a low of 66. Negril, cloudy today with a high of 77 and a low of 70. And Cayman Islands, cloudy today with a high of 77 and a low of 69. Nassau, mostly cloudy today with a high of 68 and a low of 61. Nigeria, mostly cloudy today with a high of 92 and a low of 71. Ghana, light rain today with a high of 98 and a low of 75. Netherlands, cloudy today with a high of 41 and a low of 28. Vietnam, cloudy today with a high of 66 and a low of 55. And Paris, mostly sunny today with a high of 49 and a low of 35. It's just cloudy all over the world today, huh? All right, on to our sports. The NFL, of course, is currently in the Super Bowl week. Following Sundays, coming this Sunday will be the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl week. So Super Bowl is the 8th, and it will be on Fox. But today we have the 2026 Pro Bowl games at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN, Disney XD, and NFL Plus. So the NFL's biggest stars compete in the AFC versus NFC flag football showdown and the skills competition or helmet harmony live from the Moscone Center in San Francisco, that is. All right, in the NBA, our overnight scores are the Hornets over the Pelicans, 102-95. The Rockets over the Pacers, 118-114. The Grizzlies over the Timberwolves, 137-128. And the 76ers over the Clippers, 128-113. However, there are a few games tonight. So first up, we have the Knicks and the Wizards are at 8 on MSG and Monumental Sports. The Nuggets and the Pistons are also at 8 on FanDuel Sports Network. We have the Jazz and the Pacers at 8 on FDNS and KJZZ. We have the Hawks and the Heat at 8:30 on FDSN Sun and FDNS Southeast, which is FanDuel Sports Network. We have the Lakers and the Nets at 8:30 on YES and Sportsnet LA. We have the Celtics and the Mavericks at 9 on Valley Sports and NBC Sports Boston. We have the Bucks and the Bulls at 9 p.m. also on FanDuel and NBC Sports Chicago. The Magic and the Thunder at 9 p.m. on FanDuel OK and FanDuel Florida. We have the 76ers and the Warriors at 11 on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBC Sports Philly. And the Suns and the Blazers at, it says midnight, that's weird, but on Root Sports and AZ Family. All right, in Jamaican Soccer Premier League, the scores from yesterday was Arden Gardens over Dunbin Holding 1-0. So Arden Garden broke their 3-game winless streak, and they moved up to 7th place in standing. All right, today there aren't any soccer games today. However, the next match will be with Mount Pleasant and Racing United tomorrow at 8 p.m. All right, on to our daily feature today, which is Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. We are going to spotlight the Greensboro 4 victory. All right, today I want to take you back to this week in 1960. While we celebrate the giants of history, sometimes the best good news comes from 4 young people sitting in a dorm room with an idea. Ezell Blake Jr., David Richmond, Franklin McCain, and Joseph McNeil, 4 freshmen at North Carolina A&T, were tired of being treated as second-class citizens. On February 1st, they walked into a Woolworth's in Greensboro, sat down at a whites-only lunch counter, and asked for a cup of coffee. They were refused, but they didn't leave. They stayed until the store closed. So here's the good part. By the next day, they weren't alone. 20 more students joined them. By the third day, 60. By the end of the week, over 300 students were filling that store, quietly demanding dignity. This sit-in movement spread like wildfire to 55 cities in 13 states. And the win, just 6 months later, that same Woolworths was forced to desegregate. Those 4 teenagers, who were only 17 and 18 years old, proved that you don't need a title or $1 million to move the needle of justice. You just need a little bit of courage and a few good friends standing by, or in this case, sitting beside you. So for today, the power to change the world is sitting right there in your seat. Did you get that? Sitting in your seat. So keep that same energy as you go about this week. And remember to stand on all 10 when you know what you're doing is right. All right, on to our book club, where we're almost done with The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Woodson. Today we're on chapter 17, Higher Education with No Purpose. Woodson is taking a hard look at the elite today. He calls this higher education with no purpose. He's talking about people who spend years getting degrees but have no idea how to use that knowledge to keep the man or woman standing right next to them. Woodson's perspective is that a degree is actually a liability if it detaches you from your community. He famously writes that many educated people become professional beggars, meaning they all have all this schooling, but they're still waiting for someone else to give them a job. He argues that if your education doesn't give you the tools to create your own opportunities, you aren't actually educated. You're just trained. Applying this to your life today is about shifting from status to service. Look at your credentials, your degrees, your certifications, your experience. If the system shut down today, could you use what you know to serve your community directly? Don't just hold a title, hold a purpose. Use your intellect to solve a problem for someone else today, and you'll find the purpose Woodson was talking about. All right, on to our cause of the day, which is sarcoidosis. So sarcoidosis is an inflammatory disease that causes the immune system to overreact and form clusters of inflammatory cells called granulomas. These granulomas can appear anywhere in the body, but most commonly affect the lungs, skin, eyes, and lymph nodes. Sarcoidosis is often called a mystery disease because doctors still don't know exactly what causes it. It may be triggered by infections, environmental exposures, or abnormal immune response. What we do know is that it is disproportionately affects African Americans who are not only more likely to develop the disease, but also more likely to experience severe symptoms. Symptoms vary widely. Some people have no symptoms at all, while others experience fatigue, persistent cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, skin rashes, or swollen lymph nodes. Because the symptoms mimic other conditions, Sarcoidosis is often misdiagnosed or overlooked. Diagnosis usually involves chest x-rays, CT scans, lung function tests, and sometimes a biopsy. Treatment depends on severity. Mild cases may resolve on their own, while more serious cases require corticosteroids or immunosuppressants to control inflammation and prevent organ damage. There's no known prevention, but early detection is critical, especially for lung involvement. If you've had a persistent cough or unexplained fatigue, talk to your doctor. Once again, go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. For more information, you can always Google the sarcoidosis research on Google or, just on the internet. All right, today in history, in 1870, the 15th Amendment was ratified. The amendment guarantees voting rights regardless of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Although states later imposed barriers, this marks a major Reconstruction victory. In 1913, the 16th Amendment ratified. The U.S. government gains the constitutional authority to collect income taxes, informing federal finance and public infrastructure funding, transforming federal finance. In 1904, artist Horace Pippin was born. Self-taught painter and World War I veteran, Pippin becomes known for powerful depictions of African American life, war, and social justice. In African American history today, in 1964, Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis were arrested in civil rights protests. The acting couple uses their celebrity platform to support racial justice, participating in sit-ins, marches, and voter registration drives across the South. And in 1944, Black women joined the Navy's WAVES program. The U.S. Navy begins accepting Black women into its Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Services program, or WAVES, breaking gender and racial barriers in military service. And our African American scientists and inventors. First up, we have Dr. Charles Drew, blood bank pioneer. Drew developed large-scale blood storage and plasma separation, transforming emergency medicine and saving countless lives during World War II and beyond. Next up, we have Dr. Jane Cook Wright, a leader in cancer research. Wright developed a new chemotherapy technique and helped create the field of personalized cancer treatment. And last, we have Dr. Myra Adele Logan, the first woman to perform open heart surgery in 1943. A Harlem hospital surgeon who contributions to cardiac surgery were groundbreaking, yet rarely acknowledged in medical history. Starting next week, I will be doing a contest on the American scientists and inventors. I keep repeating them so that people will remember them and share them with others, especially our younger generation. So that contest will be coming starting next week. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment. Today we are in the African creation stories. So first up, we have the Congo creation story of Central Africa. The Congo believe the universe began as a cosmic egg called Kalunga. The world is divided into the realm of the living, which is Ku'unshiha, and the realm of the ancestors, which is Ku'umpemba. The Kalunga line, a spiritual boundary, connects both worlds through water, birth, and transformation. We are going to learn all of these words once I learn how to say them correctly. But as I keep going over all the stories and everything, we're going to get them all. We're going to learn them all. And we're going to learn when we see them what they mean. That's why I do this. Next up, we have Zulu creation story of South Africa. According to Zulu tradition, all life emerged from a bed of reeds called Ulanga. The first human, Ukun Lukulu, rose from the reeds and taught humanity how to farm, build, and live in community. And third, we have the Dinka creation story of South Sudan. The Dinka believed the creator, Nik Alik, formed humans from clay. A rope once connected heaven and earth, allowing people to communicate directly with the divine. When the rope was severed, humans became responsible for maintaining harmony through ritual and moral behavior. Okay, so tomorrow we will be continuing the African creation stories. All right, on to down the rabbit hole. So today I focus on how did the written word begin? So who was the first human to write something down and what did they write? So today we're exploring the birth of the written word, the moment humans learned to trap thoughts in symbols. The earliest known writing system is cuneiform, created in ancient Sumer around 3400 BCE. But writing didn't begin as poetry or storytelling. It began as receipts, records of grain, livestock, and trade. Humans needed a way to track wealth, and writing became the solution. Around the same time in Kemet, ancient Egypt, scribes developed hieroglyphics, a system of sacred symbols carved into stone and written on papyrus. These weren't just words, they were art, magic, and memory. But here's the part of history books that they often skip. Africa had multiple writing systems long before European contact. In Nigeria and Cameroon, the NCBD script was used for communication, law, and ritual. In Sudan, the Kingdom of Kush developed the Mayortic script, one of the world's oldest alphabets. These systems weren't borrowed from Egypt or Sumer. They were independent inventions. Writing changed everything. It allowed humans to store knowledge outside the brain. It created governments, religions, and science. It allowed ideas to travel across continents and across centuries. So, writing didn't just record history, it created history. Before writing, memory was fluid. After writing, memory became permanent. The written word didn't just preserve civilization, it built it. So we had words long before others, just in a different way. All right, on to fact or fiction. First up, first claim is the CIA created the term conspiracy theory to discredit critics, which is partly true. The phrase existed long before the CIA, but after the JFK assassination, the agency encouraged using conspiracy theory to undermine critics of the Warren Commission. It shows how language can be weaponized to shape public perception. Second claim, humans only use 10% of their brains, which is fiction. Brain imaging shows humans use 100% of their brain, not just all at once. Every region has a specific function, even during sleep. So this myth fuels the pseudoscience and ignores the complexity of human cognition. And the last claim, the US once tested radiation on unsuspecting Black communities. This is unfortunately a fact. From the 1940s to the 1970s, the government conducted radiation and chemical exposure experiments on marginalized groups, including Black residents in St. Louis who were sprayed with zinc cadmium sulfide. It highlights why medical mistrust in the Black communities is rooted in real history. So we didn't just start mistrusting the government. It's been going on for centuries, pretty much. All right, the tech tip of the day, killing the sloth. AI filtering. So the tip is use search operators to find real human information. Why? Search engines are currently flooded with AI generated quote unquote slop. To find real Black owned businesses or authentic history, you have to be very specific. So when searching on Google, add before colon 2023 to your search to see results from before AI was even booming. Or put your phrase in quotes like Black owned bookstores in a specific city to force the engine to find exactly that rather than what it thinks you want. So you have to be very specific, or else you'll get AI generated information versus real human information, if that makes sense. All right, on to our finance tip of the day, which is the high yield pivot. Move your emergency fund out of traditional big bank savings accounts. Traditional banks often pay only 0.01% interest. High yield savings accounts in 2026 are paying significantly more. This is a passive motion, your money making money while you sleep. So research banks like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally, or American Express. Open an account and transfer your rainy day fund. A $10,000 fund at a big bank makes $1 a year in a HYSA. It could make $400 to $500 a year elsewhere. That's good. That's good news for your wallet. So pivot your money and put it where it's going to count and make money for you, instead of just letting it sit somewhere and just getting pretty much no interest at all. All right, on to our fun fact of the day. The king of rock was actually a queen. The godmother of rock and roll was a Black woman named Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who was shredding on an electric guitar long before Elvis or Chuck Berry. While the history books often credit men for the birth of rock, Sister Rosetta Tharpe was a gospel singer in the 1930s and 40s who combined spiritual lyrics with a distorted rhythmic electric guitar. Chuck Berry famously said his entire career was just one big Rosetta Tharpe impersonation. All right, and our fun holiday of the day is National Carrot Cake Day. The exact origin is debated, but many historians trace carrot cake back to the Middle Ages. Sugar was expensive and scarce, so cooks used sweet root vegetables like carrots as a natural sweetener for puddings and cakes. Today is the day to celebrate one of the most popular desserts in America. You either love the cream cheese frosting and spice sponge, or you think vegetables have no business in a cake. It's a day to treat yourself to a slice and maybe argue with your coworkers about whether raisins belong in the batter or not. No. I'm just going to say no. All right, on to our daily quote, which is, I quote, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any," end quote. That quote came from Alice Walker, an American novelist, short story writer, poet, and social activist who became the first African-American woman to win a Pulitzer Prize for fiction for her novel, which is my very favorite movie, The Color Purple. This quote is a reminder that the backdoor mentality Woodson discusses. We often wait for permission or for someone to give us a seat at the table, forgetting that our intelligence, our spending power, and our voices are already sources of power we just have to choose to use. All right, on to music and entertainment. Victoria Monet, spotlighting the journey from songwriter to center stage. After years of writing hits for others like Ariana Grande, Monet has reclaimed her voice and swept the R&B categories. She spent a decade in the background learning the business before launching her own solo career. It's a lesson in mastery over viral moments. Victoria Monet is a reminder that being the novice in the room, for a season is how you become the master later. She didn't wait for a door to open. She wrote the songs that unlocked it. All right, on to our celebrity gossip. First up, Tiana Taylor's Grammy momentum continues. Tiana Taylor is riding high as her Grammy-nominated project Escape Room continues to trend. BET highlighted her top 5 visuals, celebrating her creative direction and cinematic eye, a major moment as she continues evolving from artist to full-scale filmmaker. Next, Jason Derulo announces a new era with The Last Dance. Jason Derulo is closing one chapter and opening another with his new project, The Last Dance. In a recent exclusive, he reflected on 17 years of hits, creative reinvention, and why his release marks a full circle moment of his career. It's a pivot toward more personal storytelling and artistic freedom. Next, Wanda Sykes earns 2 NAACP Image Award nominations. Comedy legend Wanda Sykes is being honored with 2 NAACP Image Award nominations, including Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series. BET spotlighted the comic roles that made audiences fall in love with her, a reminder of her longevity and fearless humor. Next, Michael B. Jordan celebrates his first Oscar nomination. Michael B. Jordan is officially in his awards era bag. Ebony reports that he's celebrating his first Oscar nomination for his role in Sinners, of course, calling the film a turning point in Black filmmaking and a personal milestone in his career. And next, Mario welcomes a baby boy. Singer Mario and partner Esmeralda Rios have welcomed a baby boy, according to Ebony. The couple is celebrating the new addition with love and gratitude. And last, Keke Palmer stays booked and busy. Keke Palmer continues her unstoppable run, appearing everywhere all at once, from film to TV to digital projects. Ebony highlights her versatility and constant persistence across entertainment, proving she's one of the hardest working women in Hollywood right now. All right, on to our celebrity birthdays. Of course, Michael B. Jordan today is 39. We have Sean Kingston, who sang Beautiful Girls, is 36. The Bronx legend Fat Joe is 56. And the British Queen of Blues, Elkie Brooks, is 81. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our recipe of the day is Southern shrimp and grits. Creamy stone ground grits topped with sauteed shrimp and Cajun butter sauce with ginger pineapple shot as the beverage of the day, which is ginger, pineapple juice, turmeric, and black pepper. Yeah, that's a shot, all right. It's going to give you all kind of energy. All right, men's health tip today is monitor blood pressure regularly. High BP has no symptoms, but increases stroke risk. And once again, I'm going to ask gentlemen to go to the doctor. Schedule those appointments, those yearly exams, or even if you don't feel right, go to the doctor, please. Men's health fashion tip today is layer a lightweight crew neck sweater over a button down for a polished winter look. Women's health and beauty tip today is vitamin D supports mood and bone health, especially important in winter months. Women's fashion tip of the day is statement earrings instantly elevate even the simplest outfit. All right, our household chore of the day today is clean the shower head. Mineral buildup reduces the water pressure. So fill a bag with vinegar, tie it around the shower head, and let it soak for a couple of hours to get all that mineral buildew melted away. And then that way, it restores the water flow and prevents more bacteria. All right, women, our Auto Mechanics 101 for today is how to check tire tread with a quarter. Insert a quarter into the thread, the tread in Washington's head down. So take the quarter, put his head down in a tread. If you can see the top of his head, your tread is worn. Low tread increases the risk of hydroplaning and blowouts, especially in the snow and rain. So make sure you check that today. All right. In our relationships for couples, share one appreciation today. Something your partner did that made your day easier. Friendships, set boundaries with love. I care about you, but I can't take that on today. I'm going to repeat that for someone listening. I care about you, but I can't take that on today. Not the way you actually want to say it, but this is a nice way to say it. Family, create a shared grocery list everyone can add to throughout the week. Yeah, good luck with that, but yeah, it's a good idea. All right, before they were legends, I spotlight today Jackie Robinson. Before he broke baseball's color barrier, Jackie Robinson was a young boy in Pasadena, California, raised by a single mother who worked multiple jobs to keep the family afloat. He grew up in a neighborhood where Black families weren't welcome. Kids taunted him, adults tried to push his family out, but Jackie learned to channel anger into athletic excellence. He became a multi-sport star, track, football, basketball, dominating every field he touched. The UCLA at UCLA, he became the school's first four-sport varsity athlete. Before he was a legend, he was a young man who learned that talent alone wouldn't save him. Discipline, dignity, and courage would. And when the world tested him, he was ready. All right, on to our horoscopes. And we start always with Aries. A bold decision brings unexpected rewards. Move with courage. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 13, and 28. Taurus. Comfort brings clarity. Surround yourself with what feels good. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 18, and 24. Gemini. Your words carry power today. Speak with intention. Your lucky numbers today are 3, 15, and 27. Cancer. A family matter finds resolution. Your compass leads the way. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 14, and 30. Leo. Recognition is coming. Ooh-wee. Someone finally sees your effort. Yes, amen. Lucky numbers for you are 1, 19, and 33. Bring on that domino effect. Virgo. A practical solution appears. Don't overthink it. Take the win. Your lucky numbers today are 5, 12, and 29. Libra, balance returns to your schedule. Prioritize what brings peace. I'm going to repeat that. Prioritize what brings peace. Lucky numbers for you today are 7, 16, and 25. Scorpio, a secret or hidden truth comes to light. Handle it with grace. Your lucky numbers today are 8, 20, and 31. Sagittarius, inspiration strikes. Follow the idea that excites you the most. Your lucky numbers today are 10, 22, and 34. Capricorn, productivity peaks. Tackle your biggest task first. Your lucky numbers today are 11, 17, and 32. Aquarius, a social invitation brings joy. Say yes. Lucky numbers for you today are 9, 21, and 35. And Pisces, your dreams send messages. Pay attention to the symbols and the patterns. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 13, and 26. At this time, I would love to say thank you to our sponsors. First up, Bello Burn Hot Sauce. Bold taste, big kick. Bello Burn keeps the city spicy. RAS Herbals, natural remedies, real results. RAS Herbals keeps the community grounded. Colorine Candles, soft light, strong energy. Colorine Candles elevates every space. And Universal Madness, the official sponsor of the Chief and Go show, style with a statement. Universal Madness keeps the culture fitted. And in announcements, tonight is Kickback with Cookie with Angela Clemens of J.A.B magazine at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There you can watch it on Lux Radio Network on all platforms except TT and luxradio.com. All right, that's a wrap for this Tuesday, y'all. Until tomorrow morning, my kings and queens, this is your girl Mel B saying stay looking fly, stay grounded in your own truth, and don't let nobody tilt your crown. Period.